Out of it.
Hey there, Facebook land and LinkedIn land and YouTube world. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim.
We're from A Teak of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woo! Yeah. This was a fun weekend we just got through.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody we were at the Banana Split Festival, and they said, "The what?"
The what?
Yeah.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah.
Yes, the Banana Split Festival that's in Latrobe,
Yep.
or as the natives call it, Latrobe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in celebration of the invention of the banana split.
Yes.
Yes, somebody had to invent that. It didn't just magically happen. And the first one was created there in Latrobe, downtown.
Yes.
And so they have a celebration of that every year.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what you can get when you go there?
Sausage sandwiches.
Yeah.
Beer.
Did they have beer? They had beer.
They had beer.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, because they had the adult
funnel
section.
cake.
Funnel cake. Yeah. And I say adult, I mean adult beverage section.
I saw several food trucks.
Yes.
Pizza.
Yes.
Lots of stuff.
Yes. And
banana splits.
$8 banana splits.
$8 banana splits.
$8 banana splits.
Which was insane.
Actually, I think somebody was selling $7 banana splits
there was,
too. But
yeah.
A lot of ice cream.
Yes.
A lot of ice cream.
Well, and
which we did not partake of.
Saturday when we were there, it was a hot day.
It was a hot day. It had been a good day for. It had been a good day for having a little bit of ice cream. As some of those banana splits.
They're massive.
I hope they had somebody to share it with, because that would have made me sick.
I could understand popsicles would have been good.
Yes, popsicles would have been good.
Because, that it was massive, like you said.
It was. Somebody had one, and it was huge. So it might have been $8 worth of ice cream on that thing.
And all the toppings.
And toppings and the bananas, of course.
All right.
Since those are $5 a piece these days.
Oh my gosh.
I kid. They're not that expensive yet. Yet.
Just wait.
Give it time.
Yeah. But this is, and the fair started this weekend.
Yes.
And last night you got to see the remnants of.
Yes, Molly, our dog, needed to go out. I let her out, and I don't normally step out front with her while she's going, but last night I did, and I got out just in time to see a mini parade of trucks, pulling a flatbed with the remnants of some of the demolition derby cars. Yeah. So had a little mini parade of that, and I was upset because as much as I appreciated it, she would have appreciated it more.
I love the demolition derby.
But she was busy and missed that. That was one of those moments where you just happened to be there, and there it was. So yeah, there were must have been a good derby because the cars looked pretty smashed up.
Wow.
So yeah.
And they've got one, I want to say this Wednesday and next weekend. They've got the last one.
Yeah, you get the schedule memorized.
Yeah, you get.
And she likes demolition derby.
It's my favorite. I love it. It's the best part of the fair. Other people will argue that no, there's much they're wrong. Yeah.
I'll watch it. It's interesting, but it's kind of like going to the car races. I went. It was interesting, but it's not something that I would do all the time. So it's not my type of fun. Something to do though.
Yeah. Your type of fun is speaking and training and coaching.
Yeah, I do like doing that.
I know.
Yeah.
And one of the topics that keeps coming up over and over and over again is communications.
What?
Exactly. We are getting a lot of requests for communications training.
Yeah, we are.
And so we want to talk about today, because to me, communications and being able to communicate effectively is probably the most important skill a leader can have.
I think it's one of the two most important skills that anybody can have. The two being the ability to listen
Mhm.
and the ability to clearly speak. And I don't mean just simply speaking like we're speaking here now, but also getting in front of a group of people and giving a presentation. I find that, and this isn't to disparage my students, but having said that, it seems like with each new class coming in, that those skills are getting worse and worse. And I realize for anybody, start sending us nasty grams or anything like that, a lot of it's not their fault.
No.
A lot of it is not their fault. I mean, we know what's happened over the last 2+ years. That was not helpful.
No.
We also know that these days with the devices, that's how they're used to communicating. Also means they're doing things like they no longer write incomplete sentences, and they like to write in shorthand. So much so that I've even had papers in college turned in with texting shorthand in the papers. And it's mind-blowing, but that's because that's what they start to get in their head. Sometimes it's words that aren't actually words, like the word through, THROUGH, not THRU. Through is what they put on the ground at the drive-through at McDonald's, so they save on paint. It's true.
I know it is.
But there's a lot of people, they think that's how you spell the word through now. No. And so, yeah, so it really, it's listening, it's speaking, and I don't even take it to that third level, writing.
Right.
So it's basically all areas of communication, and people really need work with that. And what we're finding, what we're getting requests for from companies is the fact that they're people, they can talk to each other, but they're having conversations where they're just going right by each other. Nobody's understanding what the other person is saying. Nobody's taking the time to figure it out. And it's creating chaos in the workplace.
Well, and it's costing money.
It's costing a lot of money.
One of the organizations that we do training for, they are spending tens of thousands of dollars every year because people can't communicate.
Yeah.
They've had to rent space off-site to hold supplies, because when they had it on site, nobody would communicate that they were taking any of the parts or any of the supplies, and that you needed to reorder.
Yep.
And as a result, the stuff wouldn't be there when they needed to get it. Yep. So that forced them to move everything off site and to rent space off site. And now they have to transport parts back and forth between the offsite location and their location, and that costs them money. And they're spending tens of thousands of dollars because people
don't communicate.
They're not communicating.
They don't follow procedures, make sure that everybody knows what's going on. Yeah. And it's not just that, but it's also in situations where, you've got, the supervisor, the leader, speaking with their folks, and they're saying, do this, and what the folks are hearing is do that. And so the folks do that, and then the leader's going, whoa, that's not what I told you to do. When it kind of is. It was interpreted that way. And that is also a function of not communicating clearly with each other.
And we talked last week when we were doing our webinar on listening skills. People aren't listening to understand. What are they listening for?
They're listening to hear whatever it is they want to hear.
And they're also listening to respond.
Yeah. Oh, that, right. Yeah. They are listening to respond, because while somebody is speaking, they're formulating their response, so they don't hear what the other person has actually said. And in essence, that means they're hearing what they think they hear or what they want to hear, and then that's how they generate their response. Exactly. It's based off of what they think they hear, not what was actually said.
And listening is a huge, huge part of communication.
Massive part of that.
If you don't listen and pay attention, and you don't truly understand the message that the other person is communicating, then the message is lost and communication isn't really happening. That's the whole point of communication, is to take a message from one person to at least one other person, if not multiple people, and make sure the message is clear, make sure people understand what it is you are communicating, and that they can interpret the way that you had planned for them to interpret. And that's not what is happening.
Right. Well, and that's because one of the things that people aren't doing these days is when somebody says something, you pause.
Mm-hmm.
Let it sink in for a second. Doesn't have to be a long pause, but a long enough pause to where you can really think about, what did they say? Because we all have that mechanism in our heads where we can instantly play back what was just said. Most people have that. It's almost like a weird tape recorder or something in there. You can play it back real quick. Say, did I hear what I think I heard? And then respond. Or if you're not sure exactly what you heard, restate it and say, am I right? Is this what you said? And then, so you can clarify just in case. They'll either confirm that, yep, that's exactly what you heard. Now you can respond. Yep. Or they'll say, no, that's not what I said, or at least maybe that's not what I meant. That is what I said, not what I meant. Gives them a chance to clarify. People don't do that anymore. No. Now it's, you're saying something, and then before you even finish the sentence, the person you're talking to
finishes the sentence for you.
Yeah. Or just talks over top of you. Yeah. I get an example of that with my family. I come from a family full of people who, they don't even bother for anybody to finish their sentence. They just start talking over top of it.
The nice part is when you marry into that family, you don't have to have the best conversation skills.
You don't have to have any conversation skills at all.
You just sit there and everything just kind of plays out. And holidays with your family is very interesting because the conversations that happen, they happen.
Well, they don't stop. They're continuous.
Yes.
They're usually pertaining to the same topics we've been discussing for years, which I think is most families. And like I said, unless you jump in, you're not going to get a word in edgewise. So, yeah, I have discovered over the years that unless I have something really important to say, when we've got my family all together, I just don't say much of anything. Every once in a while, I'll inject a joke. And then sometimes the jokes don't even go because somebody steps right all over it because while I'm saying it, they start talking. That happens a lot. Like, oh, I had a really great joke. You stepped all over it. So, yeah. So I come from a long line, but that's the way they communicate. So it's not necessarily bad, but it would be very bad in the business world. So some of the habits that I had picked up in communicating inside of my family that, again, they work for my family, I guess. I suppose they do because they keep doing it. I had to learn not to do that in the business world and with everybody else. And, it's something that you have to figure out.
Yep. It's very different. Family dynamics can be another topic.
And then you also need to make sure that whenever you are communicating with people that you are very clear about what you're trying to say. When it comes to using words, what kinds of words should we use? Big ones to impress people or little ones?
Use words that the person that you're speaking with will understand.
Yes. So use a lot of little words. You don't need the big $10 words. As a matter of fact, you start throwing those out. And, if you know that the person you're talking to knows what you're talking about because technical terms are that's fine. But if you're talking to a group and there's a chance that there's people in there that they won't know those terms, you start talking jargon, don't do it. Don't do it. Keep your words as simple as you can and as complex as necessary. That's good. That's a good way to say that, huh?
That is.
Keep it as simple as you can and as complex as necessary. Write that down. I gotta remember that one. That was good.
It's not like it's being recorded or anything.
It's being recorded. Oh, that's right. It's being recorded. We
Yeah.
got to remember that one. I just thought that up. I have to go see if somebody else has ever said that. Maybe that's where I've heard it, but I like that. As simple as you can, but as complex as necessary.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you'll be able to get your message across.
Exactly right. Because that's the idea, is to get your message across.
Easier to understand.
Yes. Yes. So don't use all of those fancy words. I only bring that up because I always remember when I was working at I can say it's Georgia Southern University. It was Georgia Southern College when I got there. Became Georgia Southern University while I was there. And I was part of the administration. And with administration, and this is one of the downsides to being in administration and academia, you have lots of meetings.
Yes, you do.
Meeting after meeting
Yeah.
after meeting.
Meetings to discuss meetings.
Meetings to discuss meetings. That's why I figured out after a few years that job really wasn't for me. I got tired of meetings. And there was one person that we had to work with, and I had to work with him on a few projects. And this guy, I think he did this on purpose because, understand, all the people that I was working with, we were all, had master's degrees, at least bachelor's degrees, if not master's degrees and doctorates. So this wasn't groups of dumb people. And we had this one guy that when he would speak, we would all sit there and go, what did he just say? And we'd walk out of the meetings and we would talk to each other and go, did you understand anything he said?
No.
And we'd all say no. And I think what he was doing, he might have been the originator. I doubt he was the originator, but somebody gave him the idea. He was the word salad guy. Because he would say things and you're just going, I don't know what that means. And I think he did it on purpose because it got him out of a lot of work. People didn't really want to work with him on groups and committees because you had this guy that nobody could understand. And yeah.
That's that's smart on his part.
Yeah, if that was his aim.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I cannot think of a single conversation I ever had with him where when I was finished, I knew more about anything than I did before we started the conversation because I couldn't understand a word he said. It was, and sometimes I think he made up words. I'm not even sure.
Well, you went to school with somebody who would do that. I remember you had one of your classmates.
Oh yeah, well that was intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was because they didn't know what they were talking about, and that was a way to do
But
that.
that's what I'm saying is you went to school with somebody.
You are correct. I did go to graduate school with somebody like that. I'm not going to say who.
No.
But yeah, they would toss out word salads. But the problem is for them, as we all knew, you're doing that because you don't know what you're talking about. That's different. That's different than this other guy.
Yeah, but you don't know that he did know what he was talking about.
No, we did know he didn't know what he was talking about.
No, I'm talking about the guy that you work with.
Oh, the guy that I was working with, we're pretty, well, he may have known what he was talking about, but, nobody could understand him. So it didn't make any difference. No. We might as well have not known what he was talking about because since he couldn't communicate it, it was useless.
And that's a big time communication fail.
That is a major fail.
The whole reason why you communicate a message is so that the other person can understand what it is you're trying to say.
And when nobody can understand what you're trying to say, that is a massive fail, especially if you truly had things to contribute. But I don't think we ever found out. So
if you don't want that to happen within your organization, give us a call.
Yeah.
Reach out to us because that's one of the things that we can help with.
Yes.
We can help with people communicating at different levels. We can help with different types of communication because you've got spoken word, written word, you've got different types of technology that you're using to communicate with. People are texting, people are Zooming, they're emailing. You've got a lot of different modes of communication now, but it hasn't necessarily increased people's comprehension of what it is that you're trying to communicate.
Right.
So we would encourage you to reach out to us and let us know what we can do to help you.
So our call to action, Think of somebody that you know, particularly companies, that could use our help, because there's plenty of them. We're looking for them. I am actively on the phones, beating the bushes, trying to find the people that we can help, because they need our help. We know this. And we've got ways that we can provide it, in some cases, at no cost to the company.
Yeah. Depending on the industry.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. So we're talking high quality Maxwell leadership. I figure out what side I'm on. Maxwell leadership team training. We know it's good because we do it on a regular basis with companies. We've got companies that keep coming back to us saying, yeah, we want some more. You guys are great. We know it's good. We know the information is good. We're good at delivering it. And when we got mechanisms where we can provide it at little to no cost, in most cases, no cost, why would you not do it? So if you could think of a company, let us know. We'll call them. We don't do a hard sell. My view on it is, I'm going to offer this to you, and if you don't want it, I'm just going to move on to somebody else. Exactly. Because, you know, if you don't see the value at it, you know, especially if we could get it for you at no cost to you, I don't know what else to say. You know, that's the thing about it. So, and we're willing to come in. We're willing to do a training session of some kind. You know, so you can see.
We actually have, if you're interested, we've got an interactive team building experience that we could provide to you and your team.
That's also fun.
Yes. Let us know, because we'll bring that, and we could do that complimentary for organizations.
Absolutely.
So that way they can see.
We'll do a complimentary for your leadership team. So
see what it's like.
For that leadership team, so they can see what we do, because we would not want you to bring us on board unless you got a chance to see us in action, see what we do. Because we know every time somebody does, we're booking the training. It happens every time.
So reach out to us, and one of the ways they can do that is they could call us. Mm-hmm. And what's the phone number?
412-420-7975.
There you go. You could always email us at info@ateagueofyourown.com, or you can go to our website, because there's ways to reach us there. And what is the website?
The website, ateagueofyourown.com.
ateagueofyourown.com. Correct. All right, people. Let us know here on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Send us an email, give us a call, send us a text. Let us know what's going on, how we can help you. Like Jim said,
if you know somebody that can use our help, and that's truly the way to look at it. We're not going to bother them. We will contact them. They can use our help. We will reach out to them. Let them know what we do. If they're interested, great. We're happy to help them. If they're not, no problem. We'll part as friends. And then one day when they realize they do need us, then they can come back to us.
Yes. So reach out to us. Let us know who we can help and what we can do for them. Until then, we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.